Just like any other place in the world, African cities are not left out when it comes to growth. There is much dynamism in job opportunities, industrialization, and population. Africa is projected to have the fastest urban growth rate in the world by 2050. Her cities will be home to an additional 950 million people, according to the United Nations Human Settlement Program. Even better, about half of the world's fastest-growing economies are expected to be located in Africa, with African economies expanding at an average rate of 5% or higher over the next 5 years. The total population in the continent at this time is projected to reach 2 billion inhabitants, with much of the continent's growth taking place in small and medium-sized towns and cities. Cities around Africa's 54 countries are already growing at a speedy rate. Growth in urban areas has taken place quietly over the past few decades, far from what some global media headlines present as facts. There is much resilience in African cities, where people adapt to available resources and can unlock them to deal with the pressure of rapid urban growth. Despite the fast-growing nature of the cities which you are about to see, there are several actions taken by governments and stakeholders to ensure that the common good is protected. Across all these cities, you will find mayors and municipal agents who participate spontaneously to enhance long-lasting sustenance through planning. We now take you through Africa to discover some of her fastest-growing cities in 2022. But before we do that, please leave a like already on this video and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of our updates. Starting from the 20th position, we have 20. Kano, Nigeria. Kano is one of the 36 Nigerian states with a population of about 4 million inhabitants. It is the second largest city in Nigeria after Lagos and has been a trade and human settlement area for a long time. This city is a major route of trans-Saharan trade and has been a trade and human settlement site as far as the history of Africa goes. Did you know Kano is the birthplace of Africa's richest person, Aliko Dangote? So far, there have been significant improvements in the provision of social amenities, such as roads, water, and electricity in this city. The city of Kano is well known for its industrial aptness. There are a good number of manufacturing industries here, which process raw materials into textile, footwear, ceramics, and cosmetics, amongst others. In the 19th position is 19. Algiers, Algeria. Algiers is the capital city of Algeria, found on the Mediterranean coast. It has an estimated population of about 3.3 million inhabitants as of 2022. Many projects have been carried out over the years in Algiers to give it the befitting look it has today. Talks all go towards getting new infrastructure and ameliorating older ones. Algiers has one of the best road transport network systems in the African continent. The city has beautiful sporting infrastructures, which have hosted many important sports events, ranging from continental to global. Algiers is one of the 20 fastest-growing cities in Africa that has succeeded to build close ties with other cities of the world, such as Lisbon in Portugal and Paris in France. After Kano and Algiers, we take you over to 18. Casablanca, Morocco. Casablanca is the 18th fastest-growing city in Africa in 2022. The port city is a commercial hub in the western part of Morocco. This city is considered an economic business center for Morocco, having many of the country's companies, major ports, and industries. The port of Casablanca is the largest in the world and hosts the primary naval base for the Royal Navy of Morocco. On a striking note, Casablanca also hosts two popular football clubs in the world, Wydad Casablanca and Raja Casablanca. Over the years, Casablanca has become a great exporter of phosphates to different parts of the world. Other items exported from this city include fish, building material, textiles, leather works, and spirits, amongst others. Next up, 17. Nairobi, Kenya. Nairobi has become one of Africa's most influential cities as a result of many commercial and financial activities there. It is the capital city of Kenya, with a population of over 4.3 million inhabitants, likely to increase to about 7 million by 2050. Popularly referred to as the Green City in the Sun, Nairobi is the seat of Kenya's parliament buildings. There are as well several international organizations and structures run and managed in this city. There are a good number of city projects undertaken in Nairobi. Some of these projects which have already been realized include the creation and modernization of kiosks, construction of stadia, clinics, and road fire stations. Nairobi is Kenya's economic heartbeat, with many manufacturing companies producing soft drinks, processed foods, cigarettes, and pharmaceutical products. If you are enjoying this video so far, do not forget to give us a thumbs up. 16. Cape Town, South Africa. Cape Town is a port city in South Africa. This city is the country's legislative capital host, with a population estimated at 4.7 million inhabitants. The bustling city is noted for the entrepreneurial spirit its people have cultivated over the years. The majority of the youths in this city depend on self-made businesses for a living. With the highest number of successful information technology companies in Africa, Cape Town is an important center for industries on the continent. The number of space industries rooted here too is on an increase. The largest film industry in the southern hemisphere is located in Cape Town, generating about $500 million as revenue, providing about 7,500 direct jobs and 2,000 indirect ones. Naspers, the multinational mass media structure, has its headquarters in Cape Town. In 2014, the megacity was named by the New York Times and the Daily Telegraph media outlets as the best place to visit in the world. You may want to visit Cape Town. You won't regret it. 15. Alexandria, Egypt. In the 15th position is one of the oldest cities in Egypt, Alexandria. Founded as far back as the 15th century, Alexandria is a Mediterranean port city in Egypt with a population of about 5.3 million inhabitants, which will increase in the years ahead, just like any other African country. There still exists ancient structures in this city, which serve as tourist attractions, bringing income to the development of the area. Alexandria is an important industrial center in Egypt because of its natural gas and oil pipelines from Suez. The presence of a large seaport in this city also makes it one of Africa's strategic places, which makes it one hub for fast growth. Economic activities carried out in Alexandria are quite enormous, but we significantly note the presence of manufacturing, shipping, warehousing, banking, food processing, and petrochemical companies. The most fundamental industrial investments carried out here are in chemicals, metals, leather, electricity, textiles, cement, oil, and industries. 14. Khartoum, Sudan. With a population of about 5.2 million inhabitants, Khartoum is the capital of Sudan. The country shares boundaries with Egypt and the Nile River. It has grown so fast to become a significant economic and trade center in North Africa, linked by a good number of roads and railway lines. Known for its rapid growth during the last 3 decades, Khartoum is a megacity with an increasing population, which is expected to increase by 13% in the next 2 years. Khartoum has the highest concentration of economic developments that take place in Sudan. The city hosts many of Sudan's prestigious learning institutions, which are known to produce great intellectuals. 13. Johannesburg, South Africa. Have you ever heard about Gauteng, the wealthiest province in South Africa? If not, then here you are in its largest city, Johannesburg. Johannesburg, also nicknamed the City of Gold, is the largest megacity in South Africa, with a population of roughly 14 million inhabitants. Most of the major South African companies and banks have their headquarters in Johannesburg. Development and growth started in this city long ago, following the discovery of gold farms. Today, Johannesburg has expanded to its outskirts, occupying former neighboring towns such as Soweto. Johannesburg has a well-groomed and developed higher education system for both public and private institutions. Many foreigners also come to study in Johannesburg. In 2006, the Best Foreign Film Student Award was given to one of Johannesburg's schools that specialized in training actors. The media is also fast growing in this city as the government sold off frequencies to private companies, the same for television channels. This has gone a long way to foster speedy dissemination of information, hence an indicator for growth. 12. Giza, Egypt. Giza is one of Egypt's historic cities, situated on the west bank of the River Nile. It is the second largest city in Egypt after Cairo and the fourth largest in Africa after Kinshasa, with a population of close to 10 million inhabitants. Many infrastructural changes have taken place in Giza in the past years, with most of these changes kept alive because of changing governments. Between the 18th and 20th centuries, the city saw much attention from the British governments, hence making it stand out in this position today. Giza is a famous city, playing host to the Giza Plateau and some of the most impressive monuments in the world, including a complex of ancient Egyptian sacred structures like the Great Sphinx. The tourism sector in Giza is also of utmost importance to the city's growth. The first zoo in Africa and one of the oldest in the Mediterranean region is found in Giza. One new thing you should also retain about the city of Giza is the presence of many real estate services that are giving many of Giza's structures a magnificent look. We are talking about New Giza and the Giza Development Real Estate Company. 11. Ibadan, Nigeria. It is the largest city in Nigeria by landmass and the third most populous city in the country after Lagos and Kano. Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State, is amongst the fastest growing cities in Africa in 2022 with over 3.7 million people. The city is anticipated to grow by 49% by 2025. This means Ibadan's population will rise to 4 million at this time. Ibadan used to be a very green and natural place in Nigeria, but due to rapid population growth and the need for settlement, most of its trees have been cut off and replaced by houses, shops, and offices. The main economic activities carried out by people living in Ibadan include agriculture, trade, public service employment, factory work, and tertiary production. There is a new railway connection system that has since 2021 brought passengers and keeps bringing them to Lagos from Ibadan in less than 3 hours. This new railway line also came with a new railway station in the city. We are halfway gone with our list of fastest growing cities in Africa. Please like our video before continuing to the 10th. 10. Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. This is the largest city and financial center of Tanzania. With a population of about 6.5 million people, this city is ranked the largest in East Africa and the 7th largest in Africa. Dar es Salaam is Tanzania's most cherished city for both business and administrative undertakings. There is a high concentration of economic activity in Dar es Salaam than in any other part of Tanzania. An eye-catching 35-story building is currently being constructed in Dar es Salaam, which will serve as the headquarters of the Tanzanian port authorities. There are other ongoing projects too. There are several top-ranking establishments in this city, such as the Central Bank of Tanzania, East African breweries, the Magogoni Fish Market, and many others. Visit this market if you are looking for an authentic Dar es Salaam experience. 9. Durban, South Africa. Durban is a city in South Africa, whose growth is steadily on the rise. It is the third most populous city in the country, with a total headcount of more than 3.1 million inhabitants. This city was one of the hosts of the 2010 FIFA World Cup, which was held in South Africa. Durban is noted for its mass ethnic diversity, consisting of populations from different corners of the world. The city has also grown to become a hub for touristic activities. It has been named the world's greenest city by the Urban Green Space Index. Have you ever wondered where some of the most visited hotels in Africa are found? Durban is one of the places to visit and discover. In the 8th position, we have 8. Kinshasa, the Democratic Republic of Congo. After looking at the growing nature of Durban, South Africa, we now jump into the next fastest growing city in Africa in 2022, which is Kinshasa. Kinshasa is the capital city of the Democratic Republic of Congo, with an estimated population of about 7.3 million inhabitants. According to projections, the population of this city will increase to 35 million by 2050. What is making Kinshasa grow so fast? Well, the vibrant copper and cobalt extraction activity in this city has contributed greatly to its development. Several foreign companies are operating in the DRC, especially in Kinshasa. Another enticing factor that has led Kinshasa to fast development is the presence of a variety of architectural sites, such as edifices, luxurious bank buildings, stores, and offices of large corporations. When people have to visit these areas for business purposes, they pay, and part of the money is used to boost investments in more similar structures. Just beside Kinshasa is Brazzaville, another very important growing capital city of the Republic of the Congo, which is a major city that facilitates trade activities within the country. 7. Luanda, Angola. This is another fast-growing city in Africa in 2022. Luanda, the capital city of Angola, also happens to be the largest with a population of about 8.5 million inhabitants. The city is undergoing a quick but steady reconstruction, with many significant developments taking place that will alter its cityscape significantly. There are several industries in Luanda, including those that process agricultural products, beverage production, textile, cement, new car assembly plants, plastics, and construction material, amongst others. Luanda has been considered one of the most expensive cities in the world for foreigners, and this plays a role in generating income for development activities. It is also a notable economic center for oil refining. Economic growth in Luanda is highly supported by oil extraction activities, although great diversification also takes place here. This city also has strong relations with other parts of the world, such as Houston in the United States, Praia in Cape Verde, Beijing in China, and many others. We move on to 6. Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Home to the African Union's headquarters, Addis Ababa is the capital and largest city of Ethiopia. The city has a population of about 3 million inhabitants. A highly developed city, Addis Ababa serves as an important cultural, artistic, financial, and administrative location. The city has a high human development index and is known for its vibrant culture, strong fashion scene, and there has been high involvement of young people, thriving art scene, and for having the fastest economic growth of any country in the world. Ethiopia's airlines have their headquarters on the grounds of Addis Ababa. Another thing you will be interested in knowing is that the tourism industry within Addis Ababa and Ethiopia as a whole is fast growing. On July 2015, the European Council on Tourism and Trade named Ethiopia the best nation for inbound tourism. The COVID-19 pandemic and the Tigray War, however, caused a decrease in human tourism. Yet, the level at which things have evolved in the city of Addis Ababa makes it deserve its place among the fastest-growing cities in Africa in 2022. 5. Abidjan, Ivory Coast. Abidjan is the economic capital of the Ivory Coast, the sixth most populous country in Africa. The population of this city stands at 6.3 million inhabitants. The city of Abidjan is characterized by a high level of industrialization and urbanization. It is also one of the most populous French-speaking countries in Africa. Abidjan began expanding rapidly after it was designated as the capital of the then French colony in the 1900s. It remained the capital city of the Ivory Coast after its independence from France in 1960. Scientific research institutes and many museums of Ivorian arts attract diverse tourists. The city is multiplying, and its population is expected to surpass 6 million in the next 10 years. The people in Abidjan still live below the poverty line, though. At the same time, the country is rich in natural resources and has a well-developed agricultural industry. This also serves as an important base for job creation, which has been on a rapid rise over the years as the city continues undergoing physical and demographic lift. 4. Dakar, Senegal. Dakar is the administrative headquarters of Senegal. The population growth rate is about 53%, with approximately 3 million people inhabiting it. Apart from being the fourth fastest growing city on the continent, Dakar's economy became independent in 1887 following a series of reforms. Urban growth in Senegal has been mainly driven by city centers, and mostly Dakar, the country's capital city, with 65% of Senegal's gross domestic product generated in these areas. More than 52% of people living in Dakar depend on individually created jobs as a result of the rapid population increase. There are many business openings in this part of Senegal where youths find themselves. Dakar is often regarded as one of Africa's historical sites. Through this assertion, the city serves as a hub for some protected ports in Africa, and income gotten from here is vital for the country's development. 3. Cairo, Egypt. Here comes another city whose growth and the facial lift have been of interest in the African continent over the years. Cairo is a metropolitan city with a population of over 10 million inhabitants. The metro in this city is one of the oldest in Africa, capable of handling millions of rides a day. Some of the wealthiest people in Africa, like Naguib Sawiris and Mohamed Mansour, through their investment projects, have played a key role in transforming Cairo into the paradise it has grown to become today. Cairo plays host to some international universities, which is another element that facilitates growth as a result of an influx of people from different countries. Amongst such many institutions, we can cite the Faculty of Medicine, Shams University, and the American University of Cairo. The city has an extensive road network that facilitates circulation. There is a new ring road that surrounds the outskirts of the city with exits that reach other parts of Egypt. In the second position is 2. Accra, Ghana. Accra is the capital and largest city of Ghana, which covers a surface area of about 266 square kilometers and has a population of 4.2 million inhabitants. Some of the best places to visit in Africa are found in Accra, such as the Kwame Nkrumah and National Museums, the Ghanaian National Theatre, and the Ohinegin Stadium. Accra is one of the fastest growing cities in Africa, with a population growth rate of about 49%, which is expected to increase by 15% by the year 2050. Many Ghanaian ministers and prolific businessmen reside in Accra, which also happens to be the economic capital of the country. The Tema port, located some kilometers away from this city center, is a hub for very important trade deals, which paves way for the rapid development of the city and the country as a whole. We are down to the last city on our list of fastest growing cities in Africa in 2022. Can you guess which city it is? Be sure to leave a comment below. Before we find out, help our channel grow by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. 1. Lagos, Nigeria. This is the fastest growing African city in 2022. Lagos is the largest city in Nigeria, located in the western part of the country. If you have ever wondered where great business dealings take place in Nigeria, Lagos is the place. The city has been described by many as the city that won't stop to grow, with its rising population. Presently, this city holds roughly 16 million inhabitants, and this number will rise 48% in the next 3 years, according to a United Nations forecast. There are many magnificent buildings in Lagos, which serve as business places for workers. Thousands of Nigerians living in rural areas come to Lagos to seek greener pastures because of the available and relatively well-paid jobs and living standards there. This is where the richest man in Africa, Aliko Dangote, resides. This alone should tell you a lot. This is where we round off our adventure of the fastest growing cities in Africa in 2022. In no time, Africa has built a different image, thanks to the numerous technological advancements and available human and economic resources. Growth is speculated to speed up in the years ahead as the 54-nation continent's population grows. Natural population growth rates and rural-urban migration in cities are the major causes of increasing urban growth in African cities. This growth requires quick and more sustainable infrastructural solutions that will improve the living environment on the social, economic, and cultural plan. In the developing world, Africa is experiencing the highest urban growth in the last 2 decades at 3.5% per year, and this figure is expected to increase by 2050. There is an increase in the number of edifices, road networks, and many other amenities as a result of this growth. We hope you have learned something new or you've added meaning to what you already know. Stay with the New Tourist channel for more interesting videos about Africa by subscribing to our channel and hitting the notification bell for more updates. See you in the next video.